After that, people were dropping like flies. Marlene estimates around 4 people fainted. Netflix said it was 3 people that required medical attention. So, I don't know how much Fred knows about this, and I just wanted to read through this with you because it's frigging insane. So, Netflix have decided that aside from just already having Squid Game, and they're making a second bit of Squid Game,
right? Yeah.
That they are also going to make a Squid Game reality show, which is really funny. What happens to Squid Game season 2? I mean, they're going to make it. It's going to take ages.
Yeah. TV shows take a long time to make.
They take a long time. A lot of sets. They didn't even know they were going to make a season 2. But then it went international, and they've got to sign everybody back on, write the plot, film the fucking thing. It takes time, baby. So they basically said, what we're going to do is we're going to make Squid Game. And I'm like, that seems bad, because Squid Game is obviously, for those who haven't seen it, is about a incredibly dangerous game show where if you're the last one left alive, you get loads of money or something. Mm-hmm. So they decided to film this in the UK, and I don't know how much the killing will be involved. I'm sure that the killing was, if there is any killing, it was not deliberate. It was deliberate. But we're going to film it in England during the winter in a shithole. So I haven't read this whole article, but I've read a bunch of it. When John heard that Netflix was making a reality show of the streamer's hit drama Squid Game, he was all in. I'm immediately like, why, John? Stop that. His love of the original series resonated with casting agents, and to his amazement, he was tapped as one of the 456 contestants playing the UK filmed game. As far as John was concerned, the eye-watering 4.56 million cash prize, the biggest ever in reality history, had his name on it. So you have to defeat nearly 500 people. Dude, there's no chance, but whatever.
Didn't Alec Baldwin already do this? Oh my God.
PG, that's savage. So, I thought I was going to win because I'm so competitive, says John, whose real name has been changed to protect his identity.
Right.
When it comes to these sorts of games, I'm good at them. They're games of chance, luck, and wit. I live for that sort of thing. John is clearly the perfect man to be on reality TV because I am enjoying the narcissism. He's like, I'm a genius, also incredibly sporty, and ready to defeat anyone in any game at any time. Lucky.
Did they refer to him as a British native? What is he, a druid? What the fuck? What the fuck?
I mean, maybe they're saying he's used to the shit hole that is England, right?
Okay,
he knows what to expect.
Yeah, if you can survive.
Yeah, it's very Dwight from The American Office. Yes, it is also saying Essex to me. So, but on day 1 of production, John died playing the very first challenge. He didn't die, died.
Yes. No, he got eliminated.
The British native was amongst roughly 228 contestants immediately eliminated from Squid Game, the challenge, on January 23rd, in a game of red light, green light that will go down in the annals of reality TV history.
Right.
Certainly the incident provided a memorable... I mean, this is a spoiler. Now I know John's out.
Now I know.
Who am I going to root for? I would also like to say, I just want to drop this in, that Sophie was reading this to find quotes and was like, oh, this is awful. Oh, this is terrible. Oh my God, this is so bad. I can't believe it. I'm definitely going to watch it though. And I was like, Sophie!
Sophie's the problem.
You're trash. When you said you were definitely still going to watch Squid Game, even though you were like, oh my God, this is so bad. This is terrible. She was like, I'm definitely watching it. Anyway. So, certainly the incident provided a memorable front page for British tabloid The Sun, whose January 25th splash read, Squid Game horror in UK. The story described how contestants... Why do I ever put effort into YouTube titles? You just write anything. Just put...
Squid Game horror in UK.
That's not a good title.
Not even the UK. It's in UK.
Yes. The reality show, produced by Studio Lambert, the same company behind the massive hit The Traitors and The Garden, never heard of either, had been left in a freezing cavernous aeroplane hangar in Bedford. Yeah, there's no heating in an aeroplane hangar. Playing a seemingly indeterminable game where they had to hold statue-like poses for almost 30 minutes. On-set medics had been called repeatedly to the scene that one contestant described as a war zone played out in frigid temperatures.
Oh my God.
The story had a hyperbolic, even comedic edge. Didn't these players realize they were signing up for a reality show based on one of the most sinister, bloody survival dramas ever made? Weren't they aware of the long hours involved in any kind of TV production? Netflix was quick to kibosh tabloid reports of a contestant being stretched out, publicly playing down the incident. They said that they cared deeply about the health and safety of the cast and the
it really
crew.
sounds like it.
Yes, it was very cold on set, Netflix admitted, but participants were prepared for that.
No, you can't prepare.
John, it'll be very cold.
Oh, okay.
Prepared.
I'm prepared to freeze to death. For the sake of television, I will die.
In a new statement on Friday, shortly after this story was published, the streamer and producers Studio Lambert and The Garden stood firm that all precautions had been taken. We cared deeply about the health of our cast and crew and the quality of the show, blah, blah, blah. Nonsense from Netflix. Any suggestion that the competition is rigged or claims of serious harm to players is simply untrue. We've taken all appropriate safety precautions, including aftercare for contestants. What, like reheating rooms? Have a hot soup and one of those blankets made of foil.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So an independent adjudicator is overseeing each game to ensure it's fair to everyone. Sure.
Well, the one that you assigned? Definitely not bought and sold for.
Yet, contestants such as John and two others who spoke to Variety on the condition of anonymity, their names have been changed in this story as they signed non-disclosure agreements. Yes! Break your NDAs! Let's go!
That's so weird,
they never signed up for the physical ordeal they went through. Contestants who weren't paid to participate in the series say they were told the actual game would take roughly 2 hours to play and shoot, but instead it turned into an almost 7-hour ordeal for some contenders. This is what I always say about filming stuff. It always takes 16 times longer than it should, and it's always miserable.
What the fuck is this?
Yeah.
This is mad.
So, all of this was carried out in an unforgiving UK cold snap that saw temperatures drop to 0 degrees in Bedford. I mean, you're in Bedford, it's already bad.
Yeah, if you're in
on
Bedford.
the day of filming. A number of contestants collapsed on set, likely due to a combination of cold and fatigue from the 8 hours of prep time before the game even started. The game took 7 hours, and there was 8 hours of prep time. That is definitely Guantanamo Bay.
Yeah, that's not grueling TV conditions. That's just like, how much are they getting paid? Like, okay, if I'm going to be on TV, right, and if you want me to do a 12-hour day or a 13, 14, 15-hour day, cool, I'm getting paid for that, right, because I'm getting TV money. If I'm on a game show, I ain't getting paid shit. Unless I win. I'm not doing that shit for free.
This is not a Bear Grylls survival show, said John. If they had told us it was going to be that cold, no one would have gone through with it. Another UK player, Marlene, yes, these names get better and better, Marlene, says that what transpired is not as extreme as people are saying. She did not see anyone stretched away, for example, but it's definitely not as minimal as was being conveyed by Netflix. Boring, centrist, give me the juice. It's not like we signed up for Survivor or Naked and Afraid, she said. The conditions were absolutely inhumane and it had nothing to do with the game. Players' experiences reflected the high stakes involved for reality TV in the streaming age.
Mate,
Squid Game.
This is wild.
Literally, the challenge. Produced the world's biggest streaming service. Stop padding. Involves the biggest group of contestants ever to take part in a reality show and the biggest cash prize ever offered. But is bigger always better when it comes to the welfare of participants? No.
No. What?
That's why they killed half of them in the first game. On day one of production, contestants received hotel wake-up calls as early as 3:30 a.m. With no firm instructions not to interact with other players, they were driven to buses in Bedford's Carrington Studios, a former Royal Air Force hangar within 2 hours' drive north of London, where they were grouped off in tents and mic'd up. God, I nearly read that as milked up. The Squid Game tracksuit they wore is exactly the one seen in the drama. Teal and cream, chunky and comfortable, but hardly your go-to outfit to brave the elements. Yeah, that's insane. You'd think if it was going to be so cold, you'd either let people wear what they wanted, or you'd give everybody like thermal.
Yeah, you just give them something.
Long johns.
Honestly, it's entire.
You read it as milked up too.
They didn't have to film it in a fucking hangout. They could have filmed it anywhere, in like an abandoned office where they could just like put heaters. They could have done loads of stuff.
But like, it is possible to keep people warm in cold conditions. Yes. Putting them in the velour tracksuit from Primark is not the solution.
No.
At this point, players were allowed to wear their coats on top, which producers had specifically asked them to pack for the show, given Britain's cold winters. They were also given hand and foot warmers and 2 pairs of thermal underwear. Why 2 pairs of thermal underwear?
What the fuck? Well, it's twice as warm, isn't it? That's how thermals work.
And socks. We gave you hand warmers and socks. The thing is, when you're out there for all those hours, hand warmers aren't going to do shit.
No.
They won't stay hot.
Well, you get localized heaters, wouldn't you, Scotty? You just get like fucking like those bulbs. Like you just do some fucking some literal like ultraviolet or whatever it is, like fucking.
In case they shat themselves in the challenge.
Giant heat stone.
But that's what I'm saying. Saying like, right, so saying you can pack your coat is fine, but most people's coats aren't going to keep you warm for like maybe 3 a.m. until that nighttime, right?
Well, the
cock warm, body warm.
The cold just gets in. Like, yeah, I've been in like a nice. I've been in like wearing 2 jumpers and like nice thick trousers before. But if you spend too much time outside, you just end up. You need
to have warming up spots. And yeah, hand and foot warmers. What? Even if they're those chargeable ones, they're not going to last all day, especially if you're not moving. Yes. I do think it is funny though that people signed up for Squid Game and were like, "Oh, this is like torture," and I'm like, "Yeah, that does seem valid."
Yeah, but if you're signing up for a TV show, do you know what I mean? You're not really expecting to actually get tortured. It's sort of like, well, you signed up for a TV show called Squid Game, and in that show people died. So if you die, it's on you, buddy.
Well, I do like this as well. A few portable heaters purred in the tents, throwing off just enough heat for those standing nearby. And I'm like, so like all of the people who are working on it. Yeah. All the people who are working on it are like standing by the heaters, and you're just fucking bent on all fours in the freezing cold.
Just don't die like, forehead, yeah.
Thank God both of my pairs of thermal underwear are keeping my crack from getting a breeze.
You think it'd be like the spirit of the Squid Games, not the actual death part. You know what I mean?
As smartphones had been confiscated the day before, contestants couldn't be sure what time of day the game actually kicked off. Dude, I'm pretty sure that is torture. Like, you're supposed to know roughly what the fucking time is.
Especially if you can't see the sun.
That's what I'm saying.
You're just going based on how bright it is outside. And in the winter, not very long.
They thought it started around 1 or 2 following a lunch break. There was some grumbling when it was revealed the challenge would take around 2 hours to complete, with poses held for 2 minutes at a time, but no one balked. Players had to provide sign-offs from the doctor in order to be cast on the show. This was Squid Game after all. It was going to be rigorous. But as the game got underway, the atmosphere changed. Coats were taken away, hand and foot warmers were scooped out of pockets and plimsolls. I mean...
What the fuck?
And players' jackets had to remain unzipped in order to display their numbers, as well as fake blood that would squirt from devices strapped to their chest if they were eliminated.
That's nice and warm too.
When the show's giant killer dolls stopped singing, they had to freeze in position. But what began as the promise of 2-minute wait was quickly bumped up to 10 and then 15 minutes. Marlene said she counted a 26-minute wait during one round. How do you know that, Marlene? You don't have a smartphone. That bitch had a watch. Who gave Marlene a watch? Sources close to production say the wait time increased to allow independent adjudicators to assess the gameplay. The second time the song played, I saw my left peripheral vision that this girl was swaying. Then, just buckled. You could hear her head actually hit the ground, says Marlene. Oh, she locked her knees. Rookie mistake. But then, someone came on the microphone and said, hold your positions because the game's not paused. After that, people were dropping like flies. Marlene estimates around 4 people fainted. Netflix said it was 3 people that required medical attention.
What the fuck?
Look, if you're gonna it's time to go head first into the floor.
I mean, at this point, just kill them. Like, you know what I mean? Just go all the way. Stop being a pussy about it. Just end their lives.
After medics were called for the 11th time, estimates Marlene. And bear in mind, Marlene was the one who said it wasn't as bad as other people were saying.
Right.
So Marlene's the enlightened centrist in all this. They were giving us relaxation breaks. They said, don't move your feet, but if you want to bend your knees and move your arms around, you can.
Gracious.
Wow.
Gracious.
Jenny, a player from outside the UK who'd flown in for the game, tells Variety, I'm infuriated by the narrative that Netflix is putting out there, that only a few people were injured. We were all injured just by going through that experience. Jenny's totally French.
Yes. Yes.
I've never been that cold for that long the period in my life. We couldn't feel our feet or toes. It was ridiculous, says Jenny, who also claimed that while the game was in production, restrooms and water breaks weren't allowed. Well, if you're not allowed to move your feet. Yeah.
How long is the game going on for?
7 hours. For the people who weren't knocked out earlier.
Okay.
Yeah, literally.
Okay.
It is crazy, Scotty. It feels like there were better ways of doing this.
Feels like almost any other way.
Yes. Take some responsibility. The fact you were ill prepared for this kind of thing with this number of people, continues Jenny, between tears. There were some things I guess producers didn't think about. But when they saw the weather was going to be that way, they should have made adjustments. Sources close to production deny that medics were called 11 times and indicated that prohibiting breaks during filming is standard. You're all basically actors, right? You know what to expect. Stand still and don't piss for 7 hours. There has not been any official comment from Netflix on how long players were asked to go without toilet or water breaks.
Dude, what the fuck is this? Honestly, dude, this entire situation is absurd. The idea that I'm being asked to not move, not piss, not fucking do anything for 7 hours.
Yeah.
Are you in the freezing fucking cold? And people are dropping like flies.
That's kidney infection territory.
One person who needs medical attention from a TV game show is too many.
Player 3, 2, 1. You haven't moved at all. Yes, sir. I pissed myself and my knives are frozen to the ground.
Like, the episode, like, I think the entire season of Squid Game isn't 7 hours long.
Oh, it's ridiculous. Yeah. Well, they're like, you got to hold it for 2 minutes or 25. Who's to say? Also, you can never move. It's like, so dumb. Honestly, they would have done better.
That's so mad.
If I were them and I had this exact situation to contend with, I'd run the game as, like, it was supposed to be run with the 2 minute gaps.
Yeah.
And then I'd just run it like 3 times. Because I reckon they're saying, oh, we kept it for the adjudicators because they need 25 minutes to decide who moved. But I'm thinking that it's probably because they wanted to knock out more people. Not enough people getting knocked out. And they knew how few they needed through at the end.
Yeah.
So I think just run it through 2 or 3 times until you've culled the right number of people. And then splice it all together. You can splice that footage together to look like one big game.
Yeah, also just call people out when they, I don't know.
Yeah.
Dude, that is absolutely insane.
John said he experienced dizziness and a banging headache while playing the game. The game was no longer fun or respectable to those of a certain age. It went, what age is this okay? Now, if I were like 17, this would have been no problem. But as a 36-year-old, it was disrespectful. I mean, maybe he's like 70, who's to say? It went beyond being a game, and I thought, you know what? It's 4.56 million. I can do this. Until he couldn't. Imagine you're playing red light, green light for 6 hours. What game is that? This isn't a game. The fun's now gone. You can tell people, you can't tell people they have to stand in below freezing temperatures in a tracksuit and 2 pairs of socks. Come on. And 2 pairs of underwear. Never forget. All 3 players say they returned to the hotel between 7 p.m. and midnight without having dinner. Dinner orders had been taken at lunch, but because the game had run longer than expected, contestants were transported back to their central London hotel without having eaten. Producers then ordered pizza for those arriving, but there wasn't enough food to go around and some people went to bed hungry. Absolutely not.
In London?
Fred, there's no food in London. It's not a city of 8 million people, and no.
You can order pizza whenever. There are a few 24-hour pizza places.
Yeah, I mean, surely you just order pizza from literally everywhere. Everywhere that's open, you would get as many pizzas as you can order. Because you're feeding literally hundreds of people.
Why do they hate these people?
The disorganization of not even having like a bank of microwaves and a chest freezer of freezer meals is
honestly,
insane.
Or just ordering enough pizza. Like, no, not everyone should have their own pizza, not like fucking 2 slices each.
Yeah, literally. That's crazy. Especially after a long day like that. So in the morning, I woke up and there were cold hamburgers from McDonald's and a side salad in front of my door that had been there for God knows how long.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Jenny, who's still shaken, managed to have a brief conversation with the junior production assistant who apologized on behalf of Studio Lambert and suggested that the production had required far more staff than we have. Sources close to the show deny that the production was under-resourced. Well, then how did no one end up with food?
Well,
Like, if you're arranging any kind of event with a bunch of people, hello, Domino's, pizza for 500, please. But that's what I'm saying, is there are loads and loads of pizza places. You would order 10 pizzas from all of them.
Well, how many people were in this game?
I can't remember. What number did they say at the beginning?
Right?
No, it's more than that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think they had like 456 contestants and no plans for how to get them food. Plus production.
Dude, I am shooketh. I'm shooketh.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be rude, but if you knew you were going to run over and whatever dinner plans were no longer on, then you want somebody off to one side, literally pre-ordering as many pizzas as possible from as many places as possible.
People don't mind eating cold pizza.
I mean, it's better that than nothing.
Cold
also,
burgers.
Go out and buy a microwave and just heat stuff up as people are coming in.
Yes.
It's not that difficult. Yeah, probably around 600, but like I tell you right now that if me and Sophie and Fred needed 600 pizzas from now till nighttime, we
midnight.
could get them.
Yeah, I could.
It would take a lot of phone calling and a lot of saying, hey, if I do a big enough order, will you drive further than you usually agree to?
I've ordered, like, at a party one time, I ordered just 15 pizzas, just off the chance, via Just Eat, and they got delivered within 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, production companies do cater for 500 people. Like, yes, there's supposed to be food organized. This really isn't that difficult. Like, the idea that we missed the you should never miss the time where the food is available, ever, right? If the food is available at this time, we need to be there.
Yeah.
Why are they staying in central London when they're filming in Bradford?
Why are the adjudicators...
Like, what is happening?
Why are the adjudicators taking 20 minutes between every fucking green light to check?
Yes.
Do you not have motion detecting cameras? Like, are we not... You literally just got people with binoculars?
We need VAR for, like, football.
Yeah.
VAR cameras. Why are the hot pizzas, though, such a waste of time? Well, by the time they get there, they're cold as fuck. I mean, like, any prepared meals. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, you could literally have a chest freezer with, like, 4 microwave meal options. I mean, there's a brand over here called, like, Chef or Cook or some shit. And literally, they just do, like, semi-fancy freezer meals. And they have shops, and all their shops it's like Iceland, but for, like, the middle classes, where it's just full of meals that you just pick out, take home, and then heat whenever you want. You could literally have gone into like 3 of those, gone, give me everything you've got. You'd have had plenty of food for everybody.
Dude.
It would have been a complete meal, and all you then need is to go into any Argos and say, give me 15, 20 microwaves.
Honestly, I can't.
And as many plastic forks as I can get.
I can't believe
it's not
how
that difficult.
bad the organization of this was. Like,
Yeah.
No one thought about it. No one gave it a second, like, oh my god, is this airing on Net? This is airing on Netflix.
Yeah, this is a Netflix show. This is just cheap. This is cheap. Crazy cheap.
Also,
anyway.
£4.5 million is not enough for this.
No.
Like, especially if I have like a 1 in 600 chance of winning. Do you know what I mean? Like, no. I want at least, like, it needs to be up to like 15 mil.
Right. On Tuesday, this isn't even done. On Tuesday, I like the way that the food's the thing that's got us most upset. I'm like, at least get them dinner.
That's the thing. You want to warm up your core.
Yeah.
Like, and how do you get your core warm? I guess I just like, I don't even.
This is run.
I guarantee whatever's gone on with Squid Game is not half as hard as what I've just done. Is all I'm saying.
Sophie thinks that what she's just been through is harder.
Harder.
On Tuesday, the players checked out of their hotel. And tried their best to put Monday's ordeal behind them. They were also given letters that contained contracts for the production people to call if they had any questions or concerns, though the onus was on them to reach out. Variety has concerned... I have many questions and concerns, Christ. Variety of concern confirmed that producers contacted each of the players in the last week to ask if they arrived home safely, but didn't ask me how I was doing or anything. It seemed off to me because during the casting process, he was so nice. I mean, yeah, they want to get people signed up. Also, once everything's gone to shit, now you're like, the casting process, you're like, this is going to be great. This is going to be a dream. It's all gone to shit. And you're like, you're all right. Yeah, fuck you. Bye. Yeah, I think the heart has gone out of it. When Squid Game, the challenge was announced, Netflix's then global TV boss, Bella Bajira, now chief content officer in the Banff World Media Festival in June 2022. Oh, fuck me. I can't read all this. Blah, blah, blah. The top two British companies were the envy of the UK industry, so everyone wanted to do it. Up yours. Well, they did a bad job. But inherent to the commission notes one unscripted producer is the...
Hey guys, game giveaway. Enter, exclamation mark, enter if you want to win.
I think I've lost my... But inherent to the commission notes one unscripted producer is the tension that people actually did die in the drama. So everyone will be looking at how far they can push the contributors. Wow, that's a nice name for the people being filmed, the actual content. If people don't die, will it ever come close?
Good.
That could be incredibly successful or could easily go wrong.
Wait, hold.
Yeah, he's like, can it be as entertaining as if we were to kill them? I think from the perspective of someone who's just trying to make an interesting show.
Hold up, what?
People love it when they die, is what he's saying. Yes. I think that's not container houses. I think that's an aircraft hangar.
It is.
So obviously there is no way of heating an aircraft hangar
no way.
aside from the installation probably keeping it above zero. Hey, we're doing great.
Hey,
much better than these people in
Jesus.
Yeah, we're doing much better than these people.
Article as well. I did not know it was gonna be this long.
Do you want me to stop?
No, it's fine.
I think Sophie was like cutting it up.
Yeah.
And she was literally like, there's too much and it's all good. Like it's all insane. Person said, it sounds like a complete nightmare looking after the welfare of 456 people, primarily because of the amount of care required and the logistics necessary to feed, house and transport people. I mean, yes, you've invited them there. This is like when people have weddings and they forget you need to feed people.
Yeah, it's your job to
Grandma's
do this,
fainted. Look what you've done. No one made you.
Yeah, welcome to things that are your problem.
Yeah, literally. It sounds silly, but often people haven't necessarily travelled or left their home country before, so you're dealing with the widest range of skills and experience. You've got to assume that you're holding their hand every step of the way. When you need 500 people to be in a certain place, in a certain outfit, filming your show, that is definitely your responsibility.
Yes,
you can't be like, anyway, find your way to Bradford. Oh, why didn't you bring enough food, extra warm clothes? Like, insane.
That's kind of one of the reasons why I, as an influencer, as a streamer, don't like doing those sorts of things, because you always get fed a little bit less than you like. You're always kind of like, everything's uncomfortable.
They never tell you like what to wear for the mic setup they're doing, so you end up with like the wrong neckline or something. They're not like, oh, we're gonna be using lapel mics or we're gonna be fucking miking you up from behind or whatever. How are you doing, person with name? Oh, nice, well done. So, yeah, so that is very victim blamey. That's very like, oh, these people, they may have never even left their country before. It's so stupid.
It's up to you to solve the issue of thermodynamics.
The biggest effect on contestants on any reality show is exhaustion. They continue. Sometimes it's deliberate and other times it's not. When it's not, TV shoots are really long days. You're getting your contestants out very early because you want to film when you have light, and you're filming in the winter in the UK. Jesus, the producers, are all Patagonian and North Faced up to the eyeballs, but I don't imagine the wardrobe department has have super insulated costumes for the contestants. So a production could really easily get away with you if it sounds like, and it sounded like this got completely out of control. And I'm like, well, that's your fault.
I'm simultaneously laughing at what you're writing and also what Dean and Jetstone are typing. I'm just like,
yeah. The executive adds, however, that it is totally incumbent on a production company to cancel a shoot in adverse conditions.
Yes.
And I've had those conversations. Someone calls and goes, we've got a problem and you're going to have to suck it up and it's going to cost you $250,000 to $500,000. But the line is always, we're a big company, we can do it. And Netflix, and certainly Netflix can. Yes, and just don't, if you can't afford to cancel it, don't run it.
Yes.
Like, if you can't afford to cancel your day's shoot and move it to tomorrow, deal with it.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. This is actually just insane. Look, listen, hang on, let me just take care of this guy real quick, okay? Come back tomorrow, dude. But yeah, no. At the end of the day, like, you can't afford to run it. If you can't afford to postpone it, you can't afford to run it at all. And like, you can't put that on your contestants. You can't put that on them. Being like, if you're just stop being cold, forehead.
Oh my god, the only way is get mode. Not the tech of it. That's psycho. But no, you're completely like 100% agree. The thing is, the source notes after a pause, Squid Game isn't about physical endurance, is it? It isn't about hardships. It's about games and also shooting people. The other senior producer source adds, it feels like a misstep on the part of the producers. I read about it and thought, did you really do that? This was heralded as Netflix's massive commission. No one else would do this commission. So you'd think there would be some money to consider the basics of production and to say, if we do it in a hangar in the winter, they'll be cold. What are the provisions? Literally. Philippa Childs, boss of UK production union Bectu, says the organisation has not received any feedback or complaints from the crew involved in the production. No! They were all Patagonian up! The professionals, the people who actually had jobs who weren't just called like the fucking meat.
It's fucking hilarious.
They were comfortable. Dude. They weren't in Primark's finest velour outfits. She observes, however, that there could be a disconnect between the pressures on delivery placed by the streamers versus what was expected from local broadcasters. Studio Lambert is, after all, the same company that produced... I don't care about the fucking traitors, whatever that is.
Studio
That had 20 contestants. And very stringent health and safety. The key is, the more people you have, the more replaceable they are.
Yeah.
Okay? If there's too many of you, one of you is going to die. They don't necessarily have a good rounded expectation of health and safety. But these are so obvious. Literally, all you were doing was getting people to stand, and you couldn't even do that. What happens when you got to jump off the thing?
Also, just like, I don't understand why they had to have the same number of... If you're not going to do what they did in Squid Game, then don't have as many people.
Yeah.
Like, if your Squid Game was like, it was a 20-minute, like, red light, green light was 20 minutes. It was a high stakes, like, quick thing. Just cut things down. If you can't afford to have like the sensor detection cameras to see if people are moving, then just don't have that. Have like 100 people.
Just do it better.
Just do everything differently.
Also, yes, do everything differently and then just use editing. Make it look good.
The magic of editing.
Like, you don't actually have to do it all at the same time.
It's absolutely wild.
Contestants can go into a reality show wanting their 15 minutes of fame. Yeah, good luck sticking out in a crew of 500 people. But it's a workplace and normal health and safety procedures should be expected. Contestants should be supported. In fact, all 3 Squid Game The Challenge contestants who spoke up will tell you that they did feel supported, but only to a certain point. The application process was unlike anything I've ever done, says Jenny. Background checks, psychological checks. They were emailing, calling, or texting every day from October to January. Then the people I communicated with at Studio Lambert were so kind and supportive. I was thinking, this is going to be a great experience. They're great folks. But once the game started, I said, what happened to these people? What happened to caring about us? Spoiler alert, they never did. Anyway, chat, don't do reality TV.
My God.
Don't do it.
At least don't do ones where it's... do
whatever you want, but I wouldn't recommend it. Yeah, so no food, cold.
Absolutely atrocious.
Misery, nothing, shit. Bad times. That's my summary. Guantanamo on Bedford, not Brentford.
Dude, that shit's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, not vibe. Not